All I know is that it's a body that works globally.
It used to give assistance to most of the communities in Karamoja. But then you find today, actually, all those communities that used to get assistance from UN, most of them no longer get that assistance.
American organization responsible for mostly for refugees here in Uganda and other people who doesn't have enough needs.
I know UN as a world organization basically dealing with World Food Program, and they have agencies like UNICEF, UN Women, and other sections.
UN wenti kujeta jero kani yende ba motoka no misama shtako wakati kumanyama magwao.
When I was growing, the time when we stay in the camp, I met those of UN. They get for us food like beans, posho, and cooking oil.
Just donating things for free for people.
An organization with so many organizations in it.
I know it as an international organization which helps in bringing countries together, world cooperation.
Abwa pani ya apukaningana igingaragirobe weterako.
United Nations is a non-governmental organization that works to help people in an area. Like for instance, in our area, Karamoja, it is one of the organizations which does really much of the work supporting people who are so much in need.
It is an international body, a world body that is charged with the responsibility of giving mainly humanitarian assistance.
I know UNDP, I know FAO, I know WFP, I know UNICEF, I know UN Watcher.
I don't know much about the agencies that they have, but I hear they have a number of agencies around.
UNICEF.
I know about UNDP, I know UNHCR, and then WESO.
Like UNICEF, that deals with the children. We have United Nations Development Program.
UNICEF, Kidong go fail.
Dul ma ci de UN ma kene nge wando ri jali char gene bo mo kene ma dia di pange mo kene ma twal ma bone.
UNPFPA, Weltanga, World Food Program, then to mention a few.
Agencies zemani eza UN, mani eyahu, mani ne UNICEF.
We have like Samaritan Pass, who is working under UN. We have DDG.
I know UNICEF and World Food Program.
Yeah, it has supplied like in terms of sustainable food, then improving on schools. It has improved on some schools in Karamoja. They have given us opportunity of even studying. Because those days when food was not there, people could not even go to school.
Nk'omuntu nindebe yirukangirire munonge mpunji ano kwa obuhweza abantu akwabatirwe nkenshara.
It has also helped in providing funds in the environmental protection programs, and also UN, it provides employment opportunities to the youth and not the youth.
I think the biggest achievement is the food aid that they are providing to almost all the Karamoja schools, because it has enabled all the schools to operate. Otherwise, without that food aid, I think it would be very hard for most of the schools in Karamoja to operate.
I think the biggest, UN supported mainly schools, because that time the schools were not having food.
they could supply food to schools, those things. And also helped the people, because those days even there was no food in Karamoja, it was very dry. Then they could help giving food.
Especially during the days of the war, I can say they played a great role, and they achieved a lot in providing people with food, because we had all food. Most bags here you find written on UN, people being supplied food, especially in IDP camps.
Yeah, they are failing, especially of recently, they retreat or retrench about 150 workers from UN organ. So I think that is maybe loss of fund from their funding.
It's of recent when we are getting UN challenges, because UN would subtract Samaritan Pass to do certain small projects. So if UN itself was doing it directly, it would always everybody would benefit. There would be some nice impression about the UN. But now UN starts to get tired, and instead of doing its work direct from its own project as UN, it subcontracts certain NGOs who are managed by individuals, and also who have been on not doing the real best work.
Ekintu ekyo tunyingiza itwe nk'abantu abakono n'ebintu ebibakuhera empungi kandi bakonje bakabiyeyo bakabiguza obashubuzi nibizo mu nkambi byongera birugayo biza abantu babigura kandi bisheme kwa biri ebintu by'empungi.
UN is distant from the local people apart from refugees.
Okay, some people, actual people, don't have a positive attitude at times on implementation of activities of UN. For example, you can get that some activities are implemented by UN, and even the own actual people who are implementing those activities are not all that welcome in communities.
I think the language barrier, because the people they reach to, and they totally don't have, they're ignorant, they don't have that language that they can easily interact with the others.
I'm just begging them to come back to the way they used to act before, so that people's life here can be improved. Yeah, of course, I remember telling you that they used to give school children scholastic materials, mention those things. For example, sports, they used to bring variety of balls, they used to give schools uniforms, and these things kept children at school.
Is to teach them modern styles of farming, irrigate their land so that they also get their own food. They stop depending on UN only. Let them also learn how to dig. They get their own food also. At least if UN can do that irrigation thing, to Kajong Sia, it will be the best thing for them also. Let them also know how to dig and how to get something from their own sweat. But giving them food every day, it is spoiling them. UN has many resources. He can do that. He can do irrigation to Karamoja region. He can really do it to them, irrigation, so that at least also if they can have some pipe water, solar irrigation systems, so that they also dig.
Nkayenzere bongera mani omu byamagara na munonga omu campus zempunje because no shanga hara kubarka mwendwara zitari zimwe na zimwe.
And what I think is that they should keep on supporting us with those other things like food, provide us with more books, such that we carry on the job very well.
They should always, have meetings constantly to iron out issues that would actually bring differences, which would later on lead towards the, divergence of the minds of the managers of the organization.
Has much more to do by coming on ground rather than use of the profiles and then the social media, but get to the people and then serve the people.
To employ more people, they have a chance to reach these beneficiaries. and maybe also improve on the road system, road network. Like last time I was in Kotido, because of the poor roads, bad roads, fine deliveries cannot be made in time.
kugira ngo batware nk'emishomo mu bicweka bitaro bimwe na bimwe bashomese ibintu babamanye imwe ni kubetegereza ajye mu mugo bakora
amizi go kukozesa noshanga abantu nkarukumi bine nayikondemo so nanisha banka UN eba providingire nkanayikondo nkitana tiristi omwanya gumwe.
At least they should construct the hospitals and the resettlement, put in more security agencies so that they are very well stable when they are there.
Ate kiba kongera mamani ni ba refugees ko barebekira ba refugees te babarundi ineki ibo kukomoka oku tinkumanya abana bagaruka bacondoza yo barebe icyabiherewe niki.
The United Nations has done quite a lot of a good number of achievements here in Uganda. If I look back into the situation of Karamoja, the way it was, and when the United Nations came in, we have really been quite a bit not doing very well within this region. But when the UN came in, there have been quite a lot of improvement on various sectors. You should look at the side of education, look at the side of health, look at the side of wash, protection issues, which we really didn't know more about it. People were less educated about some of these activities. It was almost like everybody was in darkness. But quite a number of issues have been addressed, and we are still going on with a lot of improvement.
WFP, as one of the UN agencies, one big credit that I give them is there is a program called Agriculture and Market Support that supports the farmers to grow crops, and then there is the cash program for the refugee operation.
The UN envisions comprehensive response by all the agencies in a crisis situation.
UN Women has helped these refugee women through partner organizations, has helped these women to learn ways of making side incomes, which has helped them. For example, making mats, baskets, tablecloths. This has empowered them, and together with the trainings like SEA.
Its implementation has been a challenge, and this has denied us, the UN, the benefits that would accrue from it, like reduction in implementation costs.
The local content is still lacking. Much as we do quite a lot of things, and some agencies are really doing well with working with the government and the people, but we still have, I think we need to be more hands-on.
Most recent scandal, which was involving the OPM, Office of the Prime Minister, that scandal in which thousands of donor money was squandered by officers in the Prime Minister's office.
The nature of our operations, for example, we work through implementing partners. The UN rarely does direct implementation. And in my opinion, I think that's a shortcoming, because if you're asking someone to do the work for you, it's not as good as doing the work yourself, in a way. So I'm thinking if the UN had other programs where it's doing the direct implementation alongside the partner engagement, I think we'll be able to reach a bigger number of the population.
Resources seem to be not enough for the growing population in those host communities. We see people, refugees and the community and the host community nationals are competing for resources like land, services like education.
As me, with the United Nations, actually UN person has changed my life. It has put me in a certain level, in a way that I'm able to educate my children, I'm able to support other relatives of mine and other colleagues. So there, I don't really suffer much. I am proud of working of the UN.
It's the level of accomplishment that UN have in this country. At the end of the year, when I get to read the financial report of the different UN agencies, but even throughout the year, look at the major things that the UN is doing, I really feel so inspired.
What makes me proud really is to see the impact of the UN more and more, especially to the community. You look at how when the UN met the community, that community, what levels were they living under, what standards were they living under, what was their state of life. And then after the number of years or months that the UN has worked with them, you can clearly see the difference, the improvement that is on ground.
I love the teamwork in UN. We work collectively, so like everyone is there to share ideas, no matter who you are. Then the client orientation, whereby we put first the people we serve and we make sure they feel served.
When you're in the UN, it's more like you get to do a lot for the communities around you. You're able to help vulnerable children, you're helping them through nutrition and many other programs, and you see the impact of your work. That makes me proud.